For those of you online, we're going to begin in just a few minutes here, just to give enough time for everyone to get in here, and I'll put in the chat. Well, so 105. And I just put in the chat, if you can't see my screen or hear me, just let me know. But we'll start up in just 2 minutes here. Let me go grab that light. Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
Regarding DocuSign, we have automatic default information that this is the wrong address, and I don't know where to change it.
Gotcha. For this one, I think if we edit this specific one, it will pull from the details. I'll have to ask Leah where that's pulling from in general. I don't know if that's pulling from the opportunity or in DocuSign. So let me ask her and follow up if you don't mind. She's my DocuSign expert over there. Yeah, that's a good question. That I always get a little. Yeah, I always get a little nervous with DocuSign questions. I'm not as versed, but I will definitely let you know. She will know for sure. Yeah. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. And let me see how long they are gonna be. Okay, sounds good. Well, it just whenever we're gonna get started, so. All right, well, we are gonna have a lead follow-up class today, all about automating our follow-up. This is gonna be a really good class, I think, today. A lot of agents, let me see if I can close this a little loud. Oh. A lot of agents just kind of rely on just their mental load and manually following up with people, but Command's tools really does allow you to automate that. And I think that's really big because anything extra than you're doing is just icing on the cake. It makes you look even better when you have something with supplementing it like automation. So just to start off though, today I am Jules. I'm the tech trainer here. Oh yes, please. Thank you so much. And if you ever need an appointment with us, like a one-on-one on anything I go over today, coming to kwbresources.com and clicking I need tech help in the top right corner. It's kind of hiding right now. But that will bring you right to our Calendly, so you could book a one-on-one with us whenever, and we can start breaking things Command down, anything with the KW tech, anything with marketing. For the most part today, we will be in Command. And you can get to Command at agent.kw.com. And here we can sign in with our KW credentials. So before we get really into this, we're going to check on just a couple settings to make sure that we are all set up well. And to get to our settings, we're going to click on our name in the top right corner and go to settings. Then on the left-hand side, you will find Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. So we're at our name, settings, Connect Settings, Marketing Profile. So just a heads up, any emails that you're sending out from Command, this is where all your information is pulling from. So your headshot, your name, your contact information. So I'd recommend just giving a brief look. This should already be set up for you for the most part, but just scroll through this section and just make sure everything looks correct. And if you do need to change anything, you can simply change it in the box. And just be sure to scroll to the very, very bottom to click save. So it's going to be your contact information up top, the Market Center contact information. And we can actually just scroll right down and click save with anything you're saving on this page for your contact info. Another setting I'm going to also check, and feel free to stop me at any point if I go too fast or if you have any questions. We're going to go back up to our name. I'm going to go to settings. On this page, if you could scroll down pretty far, maybe the bottom, we're looking for command email, which should be under email services here. If you could click manage next to this command email. For one, I want to point out that as a KW agent, you get 5,000 emails for free in command, and that restarts every month. So every month you get 5,000 emails that you can send out from your account. Now you can always get more if you need, but then you'll start paying. Those are just the free ones you get. And then right underneath this, the reply to email, I just want to make sure that this is your KW email, your personal business email, whatever you're using for your business, because any emails that you send when they reply, that's the email it will go back to. Important that you get those, of course. And if you do change this from the drop down here, just be sure to click Save Changes. Now, the last setting I'll talk about, and this relates very much to smart plans, is Twilio. So Twilio is an application that you can, now it is something paid for. So it starts at $3.16 a month. So not a very big price. And what Twilio allows you to do is automate and bulk send text messages through command. So if you want to send like a bulk text message to all your contacts in command, Twilio would allow you to do so. But in regards to smart plans, what we'll focus on today, it also allows you to automate text message send outs. So that means, for example, if you wanted to, on their birthday, send them an automated text message that would go out on their birthday, wishing them happy birthday, Twilio would allow you to do this because I would automate that text message to go out on that specific date. Now, there's a couple things to note with Twilio. So one, again, that it's a paid feature that you have to subscribe to. Again, it starts at $3.16 a month. So our typical recommendation with Twilio is to give it a try, especially with your sphere. Everybody's sphere is going to be very different on how they engage with this method of marketing. But your audience may engage very well with it. And to even try it out for $3, I think would be worth your ROI on it because you will be able to identify what channel to get in front of them the best. Text messages in particular have a 99% impression rate, meaning it's the top channel of any channel to get seen, get in front of people by. That doesn't mean that they're going to respond to your texts. They don't have a very high engagement rate. However, they at least see your text message and you get in front of them that way.
I get a lot of response.
That's awesome.
They'll say, hey, thank you very much.
See, that's awesome. Yeah, I love to, even if you purely use it for the birthday text. There's also an open house follow-up smart plan, what we're going to talk about. And that one utilizes Twilio a lot too. So even just for those two smart plans, if you were to utilize it for that reason, I would recommend it. Now, when you subscribe to Twilio, you get a separate phone number. So they are very aware this is not coming from your phone number. So they're very aware this is a marketing number for you. However, again, that impression rate is unbeatable. And people are becoming more comfortable with this channel of marketing, like Shipt and Uber. They utilize a text message platform like this. So they are aware it's a marketing number because when you send them the first text, it says, reply stop to unsubscribe. So they do know that, but again, you're getting in front of them. That's why I do recommend kind of seeing how your audience engages, because, I hear a lot of times text messages can be very impersonal for a certain group of demographics. We'll add that to like not coming from your personal number. People might think that's impersonal. In my generation, we're very comfortable with that. If I got a text, I wouldn't even think twice about that. So it is based off your age group demographics and how just people respond to channels in general. But again, something I think to dabble with, and we'll talk more about it with this class with follow-up. Any questions so far? So when you think follow-up in command, I want you guys to think of smart plans. So smart plans is a command lingo, but the best use of smart plans is actually for your lead follow-up. So there's a few different scenarios we're going to talk about for lead follow-up and examples, and we're going to set them up for those specific examples. So we're going to start with open house, setting up an open house follow-up plan in command. So to start off, I'm going to go into the smart plan section. And as we're learning this left-hand toolbar, we can click that KW in the top left to expand those out so we can see what they are. But smart plans is going to be that list icon with like a gear. And for the open house smart plan, there's actually already one in here for you that KW makes. I think now as new agents, Scott Leroy adds them all to your account for you, like so when we come to smart plans, it's coming to my smart plans here. But we can, just in case that you don't have the smart plan, let's go over to library so I can show you where to find the KW smart plans. And when we go over to the library, it's going to first, in the blue box, these are all the featured ones, but scroll down just a little bit so you can see the KW ones. These are the most popular smart plans in here, because again, they're created by KW. And if you could click that arrow to like the far right of this list, there's going to be multiple. And we're looking for this open house follow-up smart plan here. And if you click add smart plan in the bottom right, it'll allow you to, there's multiple smart plans in this smart plan. So you can download each of them. I have this smart plan already, so I'm getting a red error message in case you are as well. It does not let you like duplicate smart plans. So in case you've already had it in there, you might just be getting an error. No worries. I just want to make sure everyone has these downloaded. All right. Once you have those downloaded, click that X to move us out. Now that's going to display under my smart plans. So that top white toolbar there next to library, if you click over back to my smart plans, let's type in that search bar open house so that we can easily find it. Yours might be at the very top if you just downloaded it. In case you have a ton, you can also search by that. And the my open house follow-up, you have that downloaded there. We can click the pencil icon to the very, very far right to like quote unquote open it up to see what it's doing. And let me know if you guys are here, I can bring you here. If I went too fast, just let me know. But we're going to click, once we have that download, we're going to click that pencil icon to the far right, and that's going to open it up so we can see what this smart plan is doing. And this screen may look a little overwhelming, but I'll walk you through it. So what this smart plan is doing is on the middle of the screen, these are the steps of the smart plan. So on the very first day of this smart plan, what it does is it sends a text. So the first thing the smart plan does is send a text. And again, this is an open house example. So once we click on that step, if I click on that send a text step, on the right-hand side, I'm going to be able to see what it's actually sending out there. Yes, you sure can. So once you click on the step, like you'll see there's no pencil icon up here right now. But if you click on that step, we can click that pencil icon. And I do recommend, especially with Twilio, if you are utilizing Twilio, that you add just your name, simply like your name at the bottom as like a little signature, because again, it's not coming from your phone number. So in case they didn't save that Twilio phone number, just want to make sure they can know who this is and maybe even a better way to get in contact with you. So whether that be your email or your phone number, I just like to add a little signature to any text steps.
I think you guys, that's what.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right. So right, what this would do is as soon as the lead comes in from the open house, it would send them a text message saying, hey, John, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? As soon as that lead comes in. And if you are making changes, just be sure to click Save Changes in the bottom right to save those. And you can see that right here that it did save. And that would automatically get sent out if you have Twilio, right? Just to point out, let's say you really don't want to utilize Twilio. That's just not something you're ready for. You could also, instead, you could replace this text step with an email step. So what I could do here is take the left-hand side. These are additional steps I could make. I could like click and drag that over to day one. And maybe I'll click on, or I'll say the same kind of thing, like, thanks for coming to the open house. I'm building the email on the right-hand side. But I could say pretty much similar to the same thing. I could say, hey, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? But so instead of a text message, this could be an email instead, and like an automated email. So I could click add step to like add this step here. And then at this point, I would want to delete this other step so they wouldn't receive both a text and an email. I mean, if you wanted them to receive both a text and an email, that's what would happen here. But at this point, I could click that trash can icon. And now instead, this would send an email instead of a text message. But smart plans go above and beyond just being able to send automated emails and text messages. They are really built to help with your system setups. So how this smart plan works is, yes, they come in and from the open house, they immediately receive an email follow-up from you saying, thanks for coming by. Then it's going to wait one day, says right there. And the next thing it's going to do, it's going to give you a task reminder to go send them a personalized email. So it's kind of nice. It gives you a little description on what they might recommend. But in regards to your mental load, you're going to get a task notification. Okay, go reach out to that person. Then it's going to wait a couple more days. You're going to receive another task notification to give that person a call. Great for your lead follow-up. Give them a call. It's going to wait 3 more days. And then it's going to send them another automated text. Again, if you have Twilio, it will automate it. If you don't, it will just skip that step. It's no worries. It will just skip it. And it will go to the next step. But this step is like, hey, I have a few open houses coming up. Let me know if you want me to send you a list. Text message sent to them. As you can see, this smart plan goes pretty far down. Really great for your lead follow-up systems. It's going to wait 4 more days, have another call reminder. Wait a few more days, have another text sent to them. Waits a few more days, it gives you a task notification to email them. And I always thought, like, I thought it was kind of silly when I looked at smart plans that some of them have like a task reminder to go email them instead of like email them. Like you can set that up. But I think the reason is because they really want you to personalize that to each person, especially like an open house lead. Maybe you've been in contact with them in this follow-up, so you know a bit more of what they're wanting. So instead of an automated one, they do want this to be a little more personal of a connection with an email task. But it will remind you to do that. And then the last thing it does is actually adds them to another smart plan to help nurture them in the long term. So it adds them to the quote unquote long-term nurture. which is a smart plan designed to keep up with them in a long-term basis over 6 months, a year, et cetera. So that is what this open house follow-up smart plan is doing. Now let's talk about, okay, how do we get contacts on the smart plan? How do we set this up for our business? So any changes you're making, just be sure to click Save Plan, but one more time before we X out. But we're going to click that X in the top right corner to move this back into Command. And we're going to actually set up a rule, a contact rule, so that automatically when they are submitted onto an open house sign-in form, which I'll show you how to set up as well, they're going to start on the smart plan. So to do this, we're going to click on our name in the top right, and we're going to go to Settings. Then we're going to click Command Settings, left-hand side, and Contacts, and then Lead Management. So we are under Settings, Command Settings, Contacts, and then Lead Management. Let me just remove this. Reset that. So in this section, and this is honestly one of our most advanced complex classes that we've had. This is one of my favorite features though, because it's really cool. But we can create rules here. So for example, when they come up, that's how we automatically put them on that smart plan. So to do this, we're going to click Create Rule in the top rightish. And for the rule title, go ahead and name this one like Open House Follow-up. Now, for the lead source, we are going to type in and search this list for open house. And this is like from all my stuff. We're looking for the one that says open house and then in parentheses site specifically. So that one's talking about the command site. So open house in parentheses site, and click that.
Site meaning what?
Website, like your website. Then, so based off that lead source, we can select how they're tagged and what smart plan they can be added to. And tags is Command's way of grouping contacts together. So for example, for this one, we would maybe want to tag them as open house. So we know all our contacts that came in from an open house. Okay, yeah. And if you don't have an open house tag yet, you can also create a custom tag here. If I click Create Custom Tag, you do need to give it a color first, maybe like red, I don't know. And then click Add to actually like apply it. So make sure it like looks like this before we move on to assign to smart plans. And then for the assign to smart plans, we're going to pick that open house follow-up smart plan. So it should look similar to this, your setup here. So lead source is open house site. And then if you need to create a new tag for open house, you don't need the star. I just added that so I could show you. Just open house tag, and then add them, auto assign them, see Gerard, to the open house follow-up smart plan. So those are like the 3 things there. Oh, do what? Yeah, you can, if you start typing in open house, it will give you an option to create that if you don't already have it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're doing good over there?
I think so. It took me a second to
Okay, well,
get that.
cool. Well, feel free to call me over like anytime. I can help. And once it looks like this, we're going to click Create Rule in the bottom right. But yeah, be sure to click like Add. It doesn't like add it until you click that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then the smart plan should be like the open house follow-up or my open house follow-up. I think I have it in there a couple times. My. And a reminder, right, that smart plan that we have this auto sign, that first step is a Twilio step. So it is a text step unless you replaced it with an email. So technically, unless you have Twilio, they won't receive anything. It would skip that text. But if you do get Twilio, they will receive the text as soon as they submit the open house sign in. And that's what we're setting up next. Great question. Yes. So, well, so if they reply to it, it comes back into command like a notification. And like if you have the command app, for example, you will get it on your phone too, but it doesn't like come back to your phone number. So I'm going to click create rule here. And now we have a rule set up that says anytime someone comes up on the open house sign in, they'll start on that smart plan and be tagged. So now how to set up that open house sign in. To do that, it's actually easier than ever. We're going to go to our website in a new tab. And if you don't know your website URL, you can always come to this consumer section, which is the last icon on the left-hand toolbar. And your URL will display like near the bottom, but like right here. So in a new tab, if you can open up that website. This is how the homepage looks. So this is how your screen should kind of look. So on your website, we can actually create these open house sign-in pages very easily. So the first step to do this would be to search your open house. Now, I don't have an example, so I'm just going to find an open house example in Charlotte. And this might be good to know in general, just how cool your website actually is. I'm going to see the open houses in Charlotte by searching Charlotte, North Carolina first. So your website's pulling all this from the MLS, any brokerage across the nation. And then we can also filter, like if I click filter here and scroll down to the very bottom, I could actually turn on this toggle and see all the open houses coming up in Charlotte. Quick tangent, I just love this as a social media post. In general, your website could be a great thing to share on Facebook. So if you came in here and you were like, hey, you want weekend plans? Here's a list of all the open houses in Charlotte. You paste that link. They will actually get the list and drive traffic to your website. All right, I'll do this house because it looks really pretty and expensive. All right, so the steps, and sorry, that was so quick. The steps are, you would actually like click on that listing, or if you knew the address, you know, right off the top, we could type in that listing into the search bar. And we want to get to the actual like listing page, which looks like when we click on it, it has all the pictures, it has all the information. This is like the listing page itself, where we can see all these pics. Once we have this pulled up, we're going to take this URL and go to the end of it and do /open-house. So /open-house and click enter. Wait. So you'll see this URL actually changes and it says like open house like in it now, because this is now an open house sign-in page that's created for you to allow new leads to fill this out. That's what prompts that smart plan. So this would, once they fill this out, one, the lead goes right into command. And this is what will prompt the smart plan to activate. So they would receive a text after filling this out. So we see agents will have this page either pulled up on their laptop or an iPad, even like on the counter. We've also seen where agents will create a QR code from this and like frame it and put it on the island so that people can scan and fill it out on their phone. And actually creating a QR code with it is pretty easy. So all we would need to do is copy this URL. And then in a new tab, I simply just Google QR code generator. And there's tons out there. I usually skip all the sponsored things up top though. The one we used at Scott Leroy Marketing was this one, like the-qrcode-generator.com. But again, they all do the same. But this is the one I feel most comfortable with. And we would simply just paste the URL here. It's prompting for the URL you want to create a QR code with. So we paste that in. And then we can click download on the right-hand side to download this QR code. Or maybe give it like the address. And as a PNG is perfect. So give it a name and then just click download. So now you have a QR code that you could slap on a Google Doc and say like, welcome to the open house kind of deal, so that they could scan themselves and fill out that information. Again, the lead goes right into command and the follow-up starts right away. Any questions on that? Cool. I feel like the rules, like the automation part, a lot of agents don't do. Like they get the QR code, they have them scan, and then they're kind of like, well, now what? They're like, in my database, well, this follow-up system is going to automatically be or reminding you the things you should be doing. So you don't have to take that on. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next example. And that is a new lead. So a new lead you meet on the go. What's the best smart plan or follow-up to maybe start them on? So I'm gonna go back into smart plans now. And we're gonna open up the top recommended new lead smart plan to see what it's doing for us. So if you go to smart plans, again, I think it should be in your accounts already. If you search 8x8, it's called 8x8 new contact engagement. And just let me know if you don't have that in your account and I'll show you what it is. You don't have it? Okay, no worries. We're gonna go to a library to find it. We can always find smart plans in here. And it's again a Keller Williams one. Oh, and it's right at the front this time. So that's the one we can download here. Called 8x8 new contact engagement. All right, once we have that downloaded, if you go back to my smart plans, it should be there now. And if you've just downloaded it, it should be right at the top, but if not, we can always search by it again. And we're just going to click that pencil icon to, again, open it up, quote unquote, so we can see what it's doing here for us. Longer one, too. So again, this one does utilize Twilio. But we could always, if you wanted to instead, replace this with an email step instead. If you really don't want to use Twilio. But what this is doing, so it would first send them a text introducing yourself. So, hey, contact, it's your name. Would love to grab coffee sometimes. Let me know what your schedule looks like, kind of deal. It then waits a whole week and then gives you a task reminder to go send them a let's go get coffee email. It waits another week and then it reminds you to call them. It waits another week and then can send a text message just to kind of check in. It then waits a week and adds them to my favorite email campaign, which I'll show you. It's really great. Although for that to work, they need to have an email and an address or neighborhood in command. I'll show you that, but they do need to have some contact information on that one for it to work. Waits another week, gives you a call reminder. Waits another week, sends a text, and then gives you a task reminder for email. All right, so this is meeting a new contact on the go, really setting up for nurturing that new contact on a weekly basis. So for one, any smart plan, you can actually set up trigger tags for these smart plans, which means instead of like adding smart plan or contacts to the smart plan manually, you could simply tag a contact as, for example, new lead. And that's what would activate the smart plan. That's what trigger tags are doing here. So for example, for this one, if we wanted to set it up, and let me show it again. It's like that hyperlink add trigger tags. We could set this up. Can I create? I don't know actually if I can create tags in this section. No, I cannot. Okay, well, we'd have to create the tag first, but we could apply that tag to them so that tagging them as such would activate the smart plan. So let me go through those steps as well. And sorry, I'm jumping a little bit here. So I'm going to X us out to like move us back into command. And there's a couple spots I can create tags, but I'm going to go into the settings. So if I click my name, go to settings, and do command settings and contacts and contact tags. So you can see all your tags here, but you can also create tags here. So if I wanted to make a new one that's like new lead, it looks like I do have to set that up before I set up my trigger tag. But now that I have that created, and again, I'm up by my name, settings, contacts, contact tags. No, it's a lot of clicks to get here. But now that I set up that tag, I can go back to my smart plan, switch by my 8x8, click my pencil icon. Oh, no, you're totally good. Good setup. Oh, gosh, it's so nice to meet you. And now at this point, I can add trigger tags here. And when I look for new lead, it will actually show up this time. Maybe. Oh, it looks like I just have to search for it or like scroll for it. Oh, there it is. One. There it is. And add trigger tag. So it won't add any existing contacts tags as that. So if there are currently contacts in your database that are tagged new leads or new lead, it won't add those to this smart plan. But now anytime in the future that we tag it as new lead, it would activate this smart plan. So maybe the best process of meeting new contacts on the go might actually, now that we have this set up, might be through the command app. Let me save this. So the command app, and that's the red one with the white KW, is the mobile version of command so that we can get like notifications on our phone. We can get Twilio replies on our phone, for example. So if you've not downloaded this app already, this is a, you can go to your Apple, your Play Store or your App Store and search Keller Williams, and both should pull up. So there's actually two apps. They look very, very similar. One's red and one's white. But the red, the KW command one is the agent mobile version of command. The white one is for consumers to search for homes on the go. So for example, on that, the consumer one, when it prompts for a login, you don't have a login as an agent. That's for your consumers to make a login and like save homes. Your login is actually through the red one, and it's the same login that you sign in with the computer. And once we are signed in, it looks like this. So just quickly, I always like to note just two things on the homepage. By your name, there's a couple things hiding. One is my business card. So if you're ever on the go, you forgot a business card, you want them to save your information very easily, You pull this right up, they scan it with their phone, and that saves your contact information to their phone. That's a cool thing. Also up by your name is an option to share my KW app link. So this is the way to share the other app with your consumers. And it's important that you share it this way because this will be your branded app link. So when they sign up, that lead goes right into your command and you can see all the things they're favoriting. All right, but for a new contact, for example, let's say we're at the grocery store and we meet someone who's ready to move forward with real estate, or just you added a contact. So on the homepage, you'll see this plus icon where you can do a couple things, but we're going to do add contacts since we're making a new one. Now, the only thing they need to have in order to be in command is a name. But of course, as much information as you can grab for them, the 5 I'd recommend, other than name, is the primary phone, primary email, physical address, if it's not creepy to ask. Where do you live? And then bonus points for birthday and a home anniversary, which again might be a little weird as the first meetup, but maybe after you meet them, you can find that information on Facebook or something. So for the name, if you haven't put yourself into command already, maybe you test yourself on this or just give a test name. And then you can fill out as much information as you get from them during that meetup. So maybe we got their phone number and their email. Now, just a heads up with contacts in command, it does skip duplicates based off phone number and email. So if you already have that email in your command database, it won't let you re-add it, so that duplicates is not a problem. But once we have that contact information, we can click save in like the top right. And I might recommend, and I know this is a total habit changer, that when you meet a new contact on the go, instead of adding them to your phone, like the contact section of your phone, add them to the command app first, because once you save that contact, if you click the 3 dots in the top right, you'll see an extra option to save contact to phone. So you can kind of like do 2 birds with one stone, save them to command and just extra tap to save them to your phone. That one's like hard to relearn though, because I naturally just go to my phone. But if you do, this might be a really good system for you. And at this point, so there's a couple ways we could do this. So because we set up that trigger tag, at this point, we could click add/remove tags near the top of that contact. And if we tag it as new lead, and click save, that just started the smart plan right away by me tagging them because of that trigger tag. Now, alternatively, let's say we didn't set up a trigger tag. You could also come over on this white toolbar. You'll see an option for smart plans. So once I clicked over to smart plans, you'll see that because I tagged it, it's already on that smart plan. But I could also add them to a smart plan manually here too, if you don't have a trigger tag set up, and just add them to the 8x8 this way too. So that way, when you get a new lead, that lead follow-up starts immediately and it's automated. That's my favorite word. Any questions on that? Okay, so we're just moving right along. All right. Wow, we are just time always goes so fast in these classes. Never get it through everything. We'll do a website lead follow-up system as well now. So I'm gonna click that X to just move us back into command. So they don't really have unlike open house follow-up, they had a specific smart plan for that. They don't have one for the website per se. However, there is like a promote my app smart plan that might be good for a follow-up system for website leads. And that one is a KW built one. I always like the KW built ones just because they are most popular and most used. So just in case you don't already have it, under library and using those arrows again, we're going to scroll over. And I think it's the last, yeah, it's like the most recent one. It's called Promote My App. And we can add that smart plan to our library. And just again, adding smart plans to your library doesn't like send anything off to any contacts. We have to add contacts to it to activate it. So you could always come into this library and kind of search for other smart plans that agents are using just to get ideas. Once we have that downloaded, we can go back to my smart plans. And I'm gonna, again, open this up so we can see what it's doing. So I'm gonna click that pencil icon. And this one's really short. It has just 3 steps. I'm gonna click on that email step to see the first one. So it's got this pretty email already built out for you. So if I click on preview, really small on that little design, this is what it would send them. Like as soon as they sign up on your website, like get it in all one place, download my app. This is how cool my app is kind of deal. Just showing like the value. And it is already connected to like your app. And just a heads up, like at the bottom too, these are merge fields. So this would pull in with your information, pulling right from that marketing profile that we looked at the beginning of class. We can click on that X to get us out of that preview. Just a heads up, you could, like if you wanted to like update that to sound a little bit more like you or include some personal information, you could click that pencil icon there. And well, no, I lied. It's kind of sad, but so never mind. We cannot edit this or delete it. So we're sticking with that email, I guess. Never mind. And then would wait a day, and then I could send a text message with your app link in there so they could download it on their phone. And then it uses Twilio again or a text step because it is an app, so it's highly utilizing text messages. Now, just a heads up, this is like one that might be good for your website. We can also create custom smart plans, you know, too, that would more fit this niche as well. So I'm going to click that X to move this back. If I wanted to create a custom one, I could click create in the top right. Give it a name, maybe like website follow-up. Create plan. And then how this works to build out custom ones. We're going to use the steps on the left-hand side and drag them over to the middle to like build out the smart plan. So let's do like an email one first. So if I move that over and like drag it over and drop it, on the right-hand side becomes the editor or like the builder. So here we could be like, thanks for visiting my website. And I could say, hi. And underneath this little box here, you can add hyperlinks and merge tags. So like if you want to use the contact's first name they submitted on your website, we could like say, hi, contact first name, and it would fill in. Thanks for visiting my website. Please let me know if I can set up a custom search just for you. Here to help. And then I always like to have like a little signature. So this would be the email that would send as soon as they click submit on your website. And we would click add step and then like bottom right to actually add it. But just a heads up, you can like do bolding, italicized. You can like format it a little bit here. But again, clicking add step will like add it to a smart plan. Then we could add a day. So let's say we want another step in here. The 2 things I would change here is the wait So it says wait 1 day by default. Let's say I can pick this number. Let's say I want to reach it back out in a week, maybe a few days. We can click the wait button to change that number. And then again, we're going to click a step, or we're going to choose a step on the left-hand side and drag it over to the right-hand side. So maybe in 3 days after the website, I want to give them a call. And I want to be reminded to call this specific contact. I'll drop that in. And for the task name, I'm going to do call. And then I'm going to use merge tags here. I'm going to say call, contact first name, call, contact last name. So it will fill in with the contact's name. And then maybe for description, I'm going to add another merge field and put the contact's phone number so I can easily get that. Then we can click add step to actually add it. And boom. So you can do that with any of these steps. You can create any amount of tasks that you want to be reminded of, whether it be as simple as going to friend them on Facebook, going to go find their birthday, or maybe to add to their contact. You can really get creative with these custom smart plans and really set this up for your business. And then maybe you want to add one more day in there and even add them to a follow-up smart plan so that they continuously get nurtured automatically. My favorite one is the monthly neighborhood nurture, and I'll show you that one because it's so cool. I know I'm running out of time. But we can add them to now another nurture system, smart plan follow-up system, add step. So this smart plan goes, they get an email as soon as they submit on the website. You call them, you get a task reminder 3 days later to make that extra touch. And then that monthly neighborhood nurture is a monthly email that gets sent out to them. Yes, it's really cool. So if you have their address in their contact record, it automatically knows what neighborhood they live in. So as long as you have their address and an email, they can receive monthly email regarding their neighborhood. It also works with buyers too. Like if they are like, I'm interested in XYZ neighborhood, you could manually select the neighborhoods they're interested in too. But it's probably most easiest and most like, I have an agent who set me up on one and I check it every month because I want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. So I'll show you that email because I love it so much, but it's a good one. And it's automated. So now if I save this plan, this custom smart plan for my website leads, now I have this smart plan. The one extra thing I'm going to need to do is just set up that rule so that that activates as soon as the it comes in on your website. So we're going to set up that rule in the settings again. Settings, command settings, contacts, and lead management. Well, then we are going to create another rule. And let's name this one website follow-up. Okay. So I would just put like to search for this lead source, I just put in parentheses site. And it's going to come up with like all the different site contact forms it has available. I mean, I would personally just recommend probably depending on how you want to follow up with them, of course. But the contact form is going to be like the generic, if they fill out like the generic thing on your website form, that's what will send that out. But there's also like a what's my home worth page available on the site. So if you wanted them to also receive a thank you for visiting my website, just kind of maybe be aware of like the goals or intentions of those pages. So like when you're crafting your first email, maybe try to make it as evergreen as possible so it applies to the most people. Or you could just select a more generic target, like the contact form. So either way. I'm just going to set this up with the contact form. So now we can set up if we want them to be tagged. So I like to tag them. his website, so I know I can easily find my website leads. And then I can set up on that custom smart plan, website follow-up, and then create that role. That would be the final step we would need to like set up a true system for following up, is setting up these rules in the back end. Okay. Any questions? Correct. Yep. Spot on. And I will show now the monthly neighborhood nurture email. I think that's in my email. And first try with my password. Yay, okay, looking forward to it. Great. All right, so this is what, yeah, an agent has me set up on. Every month I receive this email automatically. And this is based off my address. So it breaks down the neighborhood. And of course, it's your information up top here. Breaks down the neighborhood, gives a little CMA, properties for sale near you. They can even click to explore more. And this would be taken to your website. So this is his command website. And it breaks down the area even more. So they can see what locals have to say. Market snapshot. They can see nearby schools. They can calculate their commute time to work. And then they can even search by nearby neighborhoods more. So all you have to have for the contact is their email and address. Set them up on the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, and just every month automatically this gets sent out. And they're like, wow, she created a whole custom website just for me. Little do they know. And just to show the full process of how to set this up for a contact, let's go into the contact section. And let's pretend like we met a new contact. So I could click add contact in the top right to add a new contact in here. And again, we need an email because it's an email. And we do need an address. Well, if you happen to get it. So under add more information and additional contact information is where you can find that address. So you'll find if I have that address in there and I click create, because I had it in there, it knew what neighborhood it was. So from this point, since I have a neighborhood and I have an email, I could simply come over to Smart Plans, add the Smart Plan, and add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. And start that right now if I wanted to, or on a specific date. Click confirm. If you meet a buyer, and so like you don't have their address, you could also come into the contact record and click add neighborhood here. And simply just type in the neighborhood they said they were interested in. And it's going to add that neighborhood as well. So they'll have multiple neighborhoods, and you could send them one as the primary as well. So you can also like manually select those. No, no, it is based off neighborhood. Now, there are safe searches in command. Now, typically agents use like the MLS for safe searches. So the big perk, I think, of this safe search is that in case they are outside of our MLS, you can set them up no matter where they are in command. Just a good tool. But the neighborhood nurture email is more for like long-term buyers, more putting them in the driver's seat of being able to search without like being too salesy. So that's great for long-term buyers, and safe searches is better, or maybe for like short. Yeah. Any questions on that or anything else I can go over? Sorry, I went a little over time today. Nice.
My long-term nature, but.
You know what I think is because it's in that smart plan. It's the last step of that smart plan. So it's going to run through the smart plan first and then add it to the long-term nurture. Yeah, I do recommend adding yourself as a test to command and like adding yourself to all the smart plans just so you can see all the things and feel comfortable answering questions that clients may have on anything you're sending to them. I always test myself out. But yeah, that is our lead follow-up class today. Thanks for coming so much. And yeah, anytime you need to book an appointment, if you want to set up any of these systems together in an appointment, coming to kwvresources.com. I need tech help. Bring you right to our calendar, and you can book once a week. And we can tackle command. We love command. Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming, guys. And what did you say your name was?
Carrie,
Oh, okay.
that's my husband, Brett. We just started last.
Awesome. Welcome. Yay, welcome to KW. Great to have you.
Excited. And it's just we really had work for.
Gotcha.
Where we were, it was fine. It was for the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were ready to.
Cool. I'm excited for our appointment on Wednesday, and we can dive into tech, but also marketing too. We do that as well.
Some color. That was fast.
Gotcha.
And I was talking.
But that was a headache. They're never fun. Yeah.
So now we're trying to figure out what do we do. Basically, they said somehow that's kind of jazz.
Oh my.
And
Jeez.
like, yeah, and then it, whatever the people were doing violated their trade agreement or something.
Oh.
So they're like, $200 we can clean it up for you.
Your domain?
Yeah.
You already paid the domain to have
Because
it.
they're like, can't use it until it's fixed.
Interesting.
It was free.
Someone else, that sounds like that's something they should have protected it against. Oh, I would think the same thing. Well, we can absolutely take a look at it, see what the next steps are going to be. Backwards.
It was the W. So that's for email addresses. That's been the biggest challenge, is having different email addresses.
Yeah, I bet it's so many. I have so many like logins at different places. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of sometimes, but yeah, we can absolutely dive into that, and yeah, look forward to it. Yeah, cool. So nice meeting you. Of course. Thanks for those of you online too. Sorry, I thought I was so mad. Thanks, guys.